Let's achieve today to excel tomorrow. Today we're looking at triangles. You can identify triangles in two different ways. One way is by their sides. You can look at a triangle. If two sides are equal, this is called an isosceles triangle. Right here I have what's called tick marks. That means that this side and this side are equal. There's not a tick mark down here, and I have numbers on this one that shows these are not equal. Two sides equal is an isosceles. Down here, I have a tick mark on all three lines. That means all three sides are equal. All sides are equal. This is called an equilateral triangle. And our last one here, there's no tick marks. That indicates that none of the sides are equal. They all have a different measure. If no sides are equal, then this is called a scalene triangle. So to identify a triangle by sides, we have two sides equals isosceles, all sides equal equilateral, no sides equal scalene. The second way to identify a triangle is through its angles. If all angles are less than 90, then it's an acute triangle, because they are all acute angles. It's an acute triangle. If one of the angles is 90, then it's called a right triangle. One angle is 90. If one of the angles is more than 90, this is called an obtuse triangle, because one has an obtuse angle in it. Now, generally, when they do these, they will ask you to classify them both ways. So this would be like an isosceles acute triangle, because it's an isosceles by its side. None of all the angles are less than 90, so this is also an acute angle. It's an isosceles acute. This would be an equilateral acute, because all the angles are less than 90. This looks like it would be an obtuse scalene, because I believe this is going to be larger than 90 degrees. This is Mr. Jordan's drawing, and it's not precise, but it probably should be more than 90 degrees. So an obtuse scalene. This would be most likely acute equilateral. I have not named these, so hopefully there would be either tick marks on here or measures on here to tell you that they're all the same. This is generally a right triangle. Is going to be isosceles, right, two sides, and obtuse is most likely scalene, where I put 1 mark, 2 marks, 3 marks. This scalene had no marks. That same thing means none of the sides are equal. This scalene has 1 mark, 2, and 3. That's telling me none of the sides are equal, because this is a 1 mark side, this is a 2 mark side, and this is a 3 mark side. But you generally classify them in both ways, sides and angles. One last thing I want to add is the interior measurement of all the angles of a triangle. Doesn't matter what triangle it is, what it looks like, the interior measurements of all triangles is 180 degrees. Therefore, if I know two of the measures, let's say 60 and 60, then I would add these two together, 120, and subtract it from a total of 180. That would tell me that this one is also 60. So I'm generally going to be told two of my angles, or I know this one is a 90, just because it's a right triangle, so I know this is 90. I'll be given two of the angles and asked to find a third. Well, it's important to know that all three angles equal 180, so you add the two you know, subtract it from 180, and that would give you the measure of the third angle, or the missing angle. Okay, so this is the way that we can work with and identify triangles. Let's achieve today to excel tomorrow.